Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. We got UK regulated liability networks, MasterCard, the New York Fed, HSBC, Barclays, Lloyds, Santander UK, Visa, and we got Ripple. Cross-border payments are unsustainable in their traditional form. You're going to see them say it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content at the top of the screen. Right now, $1.08 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.2%. 25,700 plus now for Bitcoin, and Ethereum 1633 and change. Tether market cap is 82.8 billion plus. Number 5 spot is XRP at 50 cents. We're up 0.3% on the 24-hour and off by 2.1 on the 7-day. Now, if you've forgotten, if you don't remember, I Trust Capital is the best gold and silver and crypto IRA on the planet, bar none. You can roll over your 401k, TSP 340B, and so many more options, as well as get your own back office to buy and put the assets in your IRA that you want, as well as XRP's back on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you click the link for that underneath the video. Take a look at this morning here. Investors in the United States have apparently shown a renewed interest in purchasing the XRP token in context of the U.S. SEC lawsuit judgment. According to on-chain data, the token buying was higher on Coinbase throughout August 2023. I say if you know, you know. There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. And how about this proper party that's going to happen on 9/29, September 29 in New York City? You know, a friend of mine reached out and he says, hey, I have to ask a question here. I wonder if the proper party has any relationship to the significance of 929, the angel number. Shout out to Nate for this one. Angel number 929 means that your hard times are about to come to an end. How about that one? Yeah, the angel message, and make the most of opportunity. Incorporate love, happiness, support, and encouragement in your daily life, and you will see a major changes start to take place. Listen, I don't know what it means. I mean, it might not mean anything other than it's September 29th, but I thought it was fun. Now, check this out. Then 801 comes in and says, oh, good, because this is what I found. Thought Ripple was just throwing the 75,000 XRP army a party. The proper party definition, there is actually a definition for proper party. And listen to what this says. Probably more likely, but I still like the other one just to be an optimist, right? It says here, a person or entity who has an interest in subject matter of a lawsuit and therefore can join in the lawsuit or may be brought into the lawsuit by one of the parties to the legal action. A proper party is distinguished from a necessary party who the court will order joined, brought into the suit. How about that? Now, we all know that we fit that definition as XRP holders in the class action that John Deaton represents. So proper party is really filling out to be something. And by the way, this here is for fun, and I just love that it's a positive message. It doesn't mean that anything's going to happen the day after the party. You know what I mean? Don't run away with it. But I just thought it was a nice message, and if nothing else, I am a believer that Ripple will accomplish their goals as a company, and I believe XRP will accomplish its goals long term as a digital asset in bridging the world's money. Right here, experts debate the potential role of an XRP ETF in Ripple on-demand liquidity. Now, very quickly here, shout out to Mark Phillips and the Panos for this discussion here. Mark Phillips basically suggested you could use an ETF, asked the question rather, could an ETF for XRP be used as an ODL pool? And then the opposition of the conversation came back from Panos, who said, no, you can't do that. Basically, the value of ODL lies in using a decentralized neutral digital asset, and the ETF is none of these. And basically suggesting that the XRP in an ETF would need to be locked up and couldn't be used in a multi-dimensional fashion for making payments at the same time. So if that happens to be true, I still think Mark Phillips has got a great idea. Why not start an XRP ETF, even if it's not used in an ODL pool, because it's more XRP you're locking up for an ETF, and you're getting exposure in a regulatory framework that already exists for investors who don't want to hold the asset directly. I say bring it on. And right here, Tether has emerged as one of the top buyers globally of U.S. Treasury bills, with a commanding exposure of $72.5 billion worth of these U.S. Treasury bills, according to a recent post by the CTO of Tether. And I still find it very suspicious that we never hear from the CEO. Now, why is there still so much unknown about where the U.S. government stands with USD Tether? And numbers like this, and as some have speculated, you have to wonder if USD Tether is under government control already. We're watching closely. And we're thrilled to share the incredible news from seamless to signing of groundbreaking partnerships between Bezat and SAB. This collaboration combines two partners with the same vision and bring you the world of seamless payroll processing. This is exciting because if you remember, SAB goes live with instant USD payments for corporates using Ripple. Yeah. You know, knee bone connected to the leg bone. That's what we're talking about here. Now, I'm not going to play this whole clip from BIS and Augustin Carstens here, but what he is talking about is the idea of the tech sprint and collaboration that they've been working on through the G20 for all these different projects, moving and strengthening the relationship and reshaping cross-border payments throughout the financial system and the central banking system. Take a quick listen to this little cut I've got for you here. And I know the audio is not the best, but you can read the words here.
Project Icebreaker in our Nordic Center has used similar technology to connect prototype retail center bank digital currencies across jurisdictions. And through Project Enbridge, Dunbar, and Jura, we have shown how multiple CBDC arrangements can deliver cross-border payments that settle quickly, cheaply, and with greater transparency than existing methods.
Now, I remind you that Enbridge, as James Wallace has said, XRP Ledger and XRP fits one of the models being examined in Enbridge. That is extremely exciting to me because it can help settle multi-CBDCs simultaneously. And that, I think, is that interoperability, removing friction from the new digital system that we're moving to and tokenization. But here we have more news right here. Reserve Bank of India governor touts CBDCs as a solution to high-cost, low-speed cross-border payments. And very quickly, I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but it's literally talking about the idea of using India currently in a trial phase with national digital currency, digital rupee, in place here. And I thought I had something highlighted. Challenge lies in developing innovation around our innovative AML CFT, which is combating financial terrorism and, anti-money laundering. Technology solutions that are not only enhancing the screening process, but also reduce the risk with illicit finance. It says here, a menace that siphons off a significant portion of global GDP. Another problem the RBI governor cited revolves around Forex, which is the FX currency market, a technology solutions for currency settlement. Now, we know that XRP is positioned beautifully to complement that. As per the governor, the goal here is to encourage the use of local currencies in cross-border payments, especially in emerging market and developing economy known as EMDE currencies. Again, bringing about more action, more activity inside these lower, more exotic corridors, developing markets and emerging markets where XRP can absolutely start serving a role sooner because the liquidity demands are lower, right? That is, and they will grow over time, obviously. So FX, Forex, capital markets, you get the rest of it, right? And then here again, technologies and for multilateral cross-border CBD platforms, which could contribute to interoperability across multi-CBDC platforms or domestic payment systems with complying to multiple jurisdictions, obviously. This is also pointing towards Enbridge as well. Obviously, we're speculating to find out what ends up being adopted. I think it's going to be multiple things that work in layers to provide one overall experience. Then we see another big step forward here by London Stock Exchange to create traditional assets trading platform here very quickly. This is the London Stock Exchange LLC, and basically saying that this is what we're doing, right? And they've come down into it. Meanwhile, other traditional financial infrastructures have started to warm to the idea of integrating blockchain technology. And on August 31st, the bank messaging network SWIFT shared a report on how it can connect with blockchains to solve problem of interoperability between various blockchains. So the LSE is moving here. Company will use blockchain technology to enhance the efficiency of holding, buying, and selling traditional stocks. Remember, the United States, the SEC, voted to move forward with distributed ledger technology to move the settlement time down to T+1, T+0 is where they're headed. And this is a move in London that is suggesting the same steps forward. It also ties in with, as I showed here, SWIFT announcing that they can now facilitate tokenization of assets and moving them for settlement and payment. This is all coming together, right? I just cited the US, the UK, and SWIFT. SWIFT has 11,000 banking partners, right? So then the Digital Pound Foundation highlights the UK Regulated Liability Network. Well, the Regulated Liability Network, we have talked about RLNs, which is a blockchain network for interbank payments and other digital assets. Plans to experiment with the retail digital pound backed by commercial backed money or tokenized deposits. We get into this, and it says finality is also viewed as one of the potential regulated liability network system or settlement. It says assets alongside an API linked to the real-time gross settlement system, RTGS, and a wholesale central bank digital currency. The third security settlement use case also overlaps somewhat with finality. The RLN participants view it as attractive timing-wise because of the UK's digital security sandbox. And we just went over the London Stock Exchange with the blockchain business, right? You see how all this stuff is starting to come together and gel? Specifically, the use case is to use RLNs, which is blockchain for a interbanking network, right? Some of the advantages of using RLNs would include 24/7 liquidity, settlement efficiency, and automated margining. But involvement of non-bank entities such as central security depositories pushed it into the medium feasibility category. Now, the UK RLN is likely to use blockchain. The part of the discovery phase worked included comparing whether to adopt a centralized or decentralized technology, arriving at a preference for distributed ledger technology. The reasons given were tokenization, integrity, transparency, and privacy. Now, what I found interesting about all of this is a range of technologies were assessed, including Corda's R3, which we know has an indirect connection to use XRP as settlement and other digital assets. And then we know Quant, Polygon, Canton, it says, and Settle, S-E-T-L, Settle. Remember them? However, the participants didn't share any decisions on the tech providers. We believe that Settle with Citi originated the RLN concept. So that means this is where this all came about. These domestic interbanking settlement systems, regulated liability networks, were really created. The concept originated with Settle and Citi. Well, isn't that interesting? Because it was Marjan Delatine from SWIFT and then Ripple executive who now goes over to Settle, S-E-T-L. What a connection that is. And at the same time that I'm highlighting to you that India, the UK, right, SWIFT, everyone's doing it. The US, right, the BIS, we're seeing it all. Ripple lays this down in their most recent post a few days ago. One thing is certain. The traditional approach to cross-border payments is no longer sustainable. Don't believe it? It's still true. They said it right here, and I'm going to give it to you. Right here. While the degree of impact may vary by country, depending on its regulations, currency, and the volume of transactions, one thing is certain. The traditional approach to cross-border payments is no longer sustainable. That's what we're talking about here. Everyone is moving to a new system because they realize They can no longer sustain themselves. And look, it's because of shrinking customer portfolio. It's because of constrained credit and reduced liquidity. It's because of limited investment and economic growth. It is all about the idea of being able to unlock the dormant capital that has been locked for decades and decades around the world and eliminate pre-funding of accounts. That's how you open up the world and get the liquidity they need. The Ripple solution makes it easy for banks to capitalize on all of these advantages conferred by blockchain-powered cross-border payments. Ripple's global payments network represents 90% of the FX market, so banks and their customers have a plug-and-play way to engage in emerging markets and new corridors and focus on gaining a competitive advantage amidst an unsteady global economy. I couldn't be happier to see the developments we just went over here this morning, and that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice or me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.